Hi everyone and welcome back to the next diecast. For today's video, I'll be showing you and reviewing this 1/18th scale Maisto 1970 Chevrolet Nova. This is actually my brother's Nova. He bought it from Sam's Club a couple years ago. And this orange color you see here, that was actually a Sam's Club exclusive color at one point. I believe it was 2018 is when he got this. But you can find this model also in kind of a dark burgundy and also like a light metallic blue. That's what Maisto currently offers in their catalog. And I don't know if those two colors include these cool looking black stripes, but this orange version does. But you can find probably the orange version on eBay since it's not being sold at Sam's Club currently. I'm kind of surprised they didn't actually add this color to their catalog because it looks really cool, especially with the Nova. But you can find this model at wholesale clubs from between like $13 and $15. And you can find it elsewhere online, such as Amazon and whatnot for usually between $25 and $40, depending on where you actually end up buying it from. But overall, I'd say it's a well-done model, and we'll go ahead and check out the details here. I'd say Maisto did a nice job with the headlights. They're rounded, they have that kind of texture to them, and there is a peg in the center of each one, and they're actually a bit loose too. But the peg you can't really see at all, especially from like a far distance. And this grille looks like it's actually like a see-through grill, but it's not. The way that they molded the slats on here kind of gives that impression, but it's actually just like a solid piece. Nevertheless, it does look nice overall. You have that raised up SS badge in the center there, and also this painted on Chevrolet badge up here. I like that silver treatment they give on the edge of the hood here. I think the other colors have that too. The bumper looks nice overall. I'm guessing these bent things are on the real car. And you have the Z78 license plate there from Michigan. The paint quality on this model, I would say, is good. It's not like a metallic like you would see on the light blue version. I think the burgundy version is kind of like this, where it's just kind of like a gloss color. But the orange looks really cool on this particular model. My brother, he also has the Maisto Pontiac GTO and the 1967 Chevy Camaro. And this looks really cool when displayed next to those models. As all of Maisto's muscle cars look, this one looks just as awesome as the other ones in terms of its color and whatnot. So taking a look at the side, Maisto did a nice job with the wheels. You can't really see the brake disc or calipers because the spokes are just so small. I don't know if they're completely chromed out like this on the real car, but on here they look pretty good, especially with the orange paint. These turn signals on the sides here, they're very obviously kind of painted on, so they look a bit cheap, but a lot of Maisto's other models have painted on turn signals. Would have been cool to see separate pieces, but they don't always do that. There's a little Nova badge on either side. They do a nice job with that font there, and also with that little kind of molded in vent on the side there too. Of course, you got the sturdy mirrors and the sturdy wipers. Not sure if the wipers are supposed to be fully chrome on the real car or not. These vents look nice too. They're also made of chrome. And I also like these racing stripes on here too. We actually had to touch up the one stripe here. Some of the orange was missing, as you can see. There's some black that we touched up on there. But that was just a factory defect. Your model probably won't come with that, but just be careful and watch out for that. Of course, you got full suspension and full steering. Maisto did a nice job with the back too. Some of their muscle cars have just kind of like red chrome for the taillights. These are actually clear red chrome. So they look more like realistic than the taillights on like their 67 Mustang, for sure. And like the front, you get that raised up SS badge in the back here. And the same license plate too. There's also a Nova badge here. I can't even read what that says there. Oh, it says Nova by Chevrolet. That's actually cool. I never knew that it actually said that back here. You can see it really, really close. So that's a cool little detail there. And the shut lines overall, I would say, are pretty good. This is the brighter orange color. So if you get the darker red, you won't see any, creases or, gaps or anything like that. And this model's pretty heavy too, because pretty much the whole thing is made of metal, aside from, of course, like the bumpers and everything. This whole thing's actually one single piece, the bumper and the grille. I guess that's a good thing, because, the less separate pieces in this kind of setup, the better, because then you won't get any gaps or anything like that. All right, we'll take a look at the opening features of the model next. We'll start back here with the trunk. And also, Maisto makes this in their 1/24th scale line too. And then it actually comes in some neat colors. There's kind of this like harvest gold, and I think it also comes in the same light blue that that this 1/18 scale version comes in. So that's also worth checking out. And it's nice that they offer kind of like a wide array of colors for both scales. So taking a look at the trunk back here, not too much to see in there. There's a sizable spare tire cover in here, kind of like the trunk of their Chevelle too. It has the same setup. It's just kind of like a molded in piece. It is the right like size and shape compared to the actual wheels on the car. This kind of has a different texture than the rest of the trunk too, which is interesting. This kind of lip here is fully painted with metal. You do get some underspray in the corners there, as you can see, but you're not really going to be like staring at that too often anyway. The underside looks nice overall. It is fully painted with the exception of that corner there. They could have maybe done a better job with the paint under here, but again, you're not really going to be looking at that too well. And the dog leg hinges are kind of well hidden if you look at it from that angle too. Go ahead and close that up. We'll take a look at the engine next. This engine is not as detailed as the Chevelle's engine that I reviewed, but it's still a multi-piece engine, and it looks very well done overall. You can see there's some wiring going across the top here, and also in like the lower sections there. This is a separate piece here. Turbojet, 375 horsepower, and that actually says the same thing on the real car too, which is very cool. Also, you can see the battery here too with the wires attached to it. And also, of course, you can see all the way down to the bottom of the car too. So this is another one of those cars that would look good if you display it with the hood up, kind of like the Chevelle and their GTO. And it's nice because you can actually collect, like if you belong to a wholesale club, most of these muscle cars from Maisto end up turning up there in one way or another, and you can collect all of them, and save some money. But of course, you can find all these easily on Amazon and eBay and whatnot for fairly reasonable prices. There's a couple, in terms of other details in here, there's a label there, there's some more wiring in the back. I think they did a solid job with this engine here. Underneath the hood, there actually is a separate plastic liner, as you can see. I didn't actually know that until I saw it just now. But that's a nice little extra detail that they add there. And the hood seems fairly strong. It does open on dog-leg hinges, so it might eventually, weaken over time, but he doesn't open it too often, so it probably won't have that problem. Now the doors on this model open on spring-loaded hinges, and they don't open very wide. I don't know why that is, and it's kind of annoying because you can't really see on the inside of the interior that well. It's kind of like their Lamborghini Gallardo Coupe and Spider. Those doors, look at that angle. That's not wide at all. They definitely could have made different hinges so the doors open wider. Like you saw on the Chevelle that I reviewed, that they were on they were on dog-leg hinges, so they opened up very wide. These are spring-loaded. Yeah, you can see there's the hinge back there. Does not open very wide, so that's a bit annoying, but at least you can still kind of see into the interior of the car. Speaking of the doors, you do get this frame up here, but it's actually made of plastic, and in certain lighting you can tell it's like a slightly different shade of orange than the rest of the car. It's not as much of an issue on this particular color, but I think on the metallic blue version, this is not metallic, but the metal part of the door is. So just watch out for that. And I could be wrong, but from the pictures I've seen, it kind of looks like it's not the same paint as the rest of the car. But even so, it's, the frames are nice and sturdy. They're not going to come off or anything like that. And these triangular windows, these vent windows are actually separate pieces. So we can try to take a look at the door panels. It'll just be kind of hard because of the angle here. But they did a decent job with the door panels. There really isn't much on the real ones. Anyway, there's like a little window winder back there. Kind of a nice texture. There might be like a pocket down there. Again, it's very hard to see. But what little is on there, they do a nice job of detailing. Maisto did a nice job with the seats here too. They have a very nice texture to them. This has the full front bench seat. It does move a slight bit, but not too much. It doesn't actually fold down or anything like that. But the texture and the size and shape and everything, I'd say Maisto nailed. Same thing with the back seat here. I don't know if these seats should be that close in comparison to one another, like this bench here and the back bench, but I think they look pretty good. And I can't even see if there's detailing next to the back seat on like the side of the window there. I'm sure there is. This is a dark interior, so it's very hard to kind of see stuff in there, and especially with these, you know, not very wide opening doors. There's a better angle of the overall. The details on the dashboard and everything like that are also nicely done. There is kind of a leather pattern, as you can see, a little bit up top there. There's actually a Nova inscription in that little rectangle there. I guess that's like a glove box handle or something like that. And the shifter looks a little bit cheap. It's done in chrome, but at least it isn't super loose like the one on my GTO is. You can always like detail that yourself if you want to take it out, maybe paint it so it's properly matched. I'm sure the real shifter is completely chrome, but that lower part there, that I think should be black leather, like that lower portion there, because that's what most shifters seem to have on them. But again, I could be wrong. But it does add some color to this otherwise dark interior. And the steering wheel has some nice detailing on it too. It has the Chevrolet logo in the center there. This is a very commonly seen Chevrolet and General Motors steering wheel in general, just that simple, you know, like single spoke in the center there. And they do a nice job of detailing these stalks on the sides too. And there are separate pieces for the pedals. You can actually see it better on this side. Yep, there they are. They're not, you know, painted in silver or anything, but they do have, looks like they have 3 different textures for 3 different pedals there, which is interesting. There's actually a better view of the steering wheel too. That also has kind of a texture on it, which is nice to see. And also that SS badge right in the middle there. But overall, I'd say it's a good interior for a recent Maisto model. This one was made in 2018. I don't know when Maisto actually began making the Nova in their lineup. It's been sold for at least 10 years, but so that means it's pretty easy to find on all different sites and whatnot. So if we take a look at the undercarriage, they did a nice job overall. I like how this engine piece kind of matches the color of the car. And also they do the exhaust pipes. Of course they're in chrome, but at least they're the right shape and everything. And you can always, I've seen some people actually detail the undercarriages of their Maisto models. I might start doing that just out of curiosity and like see how it goes. You can see the whole steering system too, which is pretty cool. And this does have full steering and actually pretty good suspension, if I didn't mention that previously. Overall, I'd say this model is a fine addition to your collection, especially if you collect like muscle cars, especially if you collect like GM muscle cars, like the GTO and the Camaro and whatnot. As always, be sure to like and subscribe, and feel free to comment down below with your thoughts on this model and if you happen to have it. And thanks for watching.